I'm Supermoon Tarot, and in today's video, we are going to be revealing their secrets to you. This is primarily focused on someone of interest. So as usual, I like to keep this pretty open. So this can be a romantic potential partner or a partner you have right now. This could be someone in your life you just feel maybe they're very focused on you or you're very focused on them. This would be like an important person in your life at this very moment. I want to say before going over the cards that I'm so pumped you guys want the music back. I love it. I just wanted to make sure you guys weren't getting sick of it or wanted something different. I love that you too feel it is an essential part of, getting in the mood and the mindset. So it's back. You can actually go down to the description and listen to the music from that artist. They have tons of different kinds of music. They're pretty varied in their genres and it's a great way of supporting them as well if you enjoy it so much. In addition to that, I wanted to let you guys know, yes, I am doing the angels video or angels video next. I wanted to do a pick a card, I wanted to do another pick a card, and then I'm going to come out with that video with, drawings and talking about how they really are and my encounters with them and all that positive jazz because, well, you guys are interested and I'm so pumped that you are. So don't worry, that is coming, but we're going to be doing this first. So as you can see, we have 4 groups in front of us. 1, 2, 3, 4. I want you to pick the group that you resonate with most. Now that you have, you can go down to the description where you can go to your designated group with its marked timestamp. And let's get started with group number 1. Group number 1. Let's look at those secrets by looking at the cards. We've got your oracle card, the giveaway. 7 of Pentacles upright, 6 of Pentacles upright, King of Pentacles upright, and 10 of Swords in reverse. Look at that. That is such a serious bunny. Let me look at this and listen to my spirit guides for one moment. Okay. I'm seeing, I would say 3. I'm seeing 3 main secrets. This one almost feels like it could be 1, but in a way it's 2. But let's get started. The first one's super layered and has a lot of in-depth going on than the simplicity of its main origin. Like the main secret itself has a lot behind it. So first let's start with the giveaway, the oracle card. This is all about when somebody is giving something extremely special away to someone else. It's because they want to, and this is an important thing. It is an authentic thing that only they can give. So they're giving it genuinely. What they have to offer is very genuine, and they can only be the ones to look at it right now. Sorry, I looked up at the clock. Oh my gosh, I'm having a synchronicity. The clock says 5:23 and it says 23, and I was literally about to talk about the number 5 as well. So I'm having a very meta moment right now. I love this. I'm in flow with the universe. So going on, this is about the idea of love. So the main secret going on here, and this sounds kind of bizarre and weird, but they're deeply, 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 deeply in love with you. They're very into you. And this is a bit of a secret because it's new to them how much they feel this way towards another person. You're sort of the first person. And this is a big change they've been needing to make in their life. So that's why it's kind of like hidden under wraps. The best way I can put it is, and we can see that confirmed over here in the 7 of Pentacles upright and the 6 of Pentacles upright. Because example, if this is a romantic love, they kind of want to come off as cool. They don't want you to know how into you they are. And especially because they don't have like a deep history with other people in this kind of way, it's a little overwhelming for even them to realize, and they're afraid that maybe you might pick up on that and then not be into them. So they're kind of pulling back and playing cool. And for people who, this is a very open general reading, for people who have like friendships, sometimes people can care that deeply about someone else who's a friend, but that does not mean they romantically want to be with you. It's just that you can care about a friend so much that it can make another friend, like they can't handle that sort of connection, and they can be like, oh, they're into me, and push them away. And they don't want you to push them away, and because they don't feel that way for you romantically. Does that make sense? You know what I mean? They feel very deeply for you. It isn't that type of love, but they don't want to overwhelm you with how intense it still is. Either way, and I do want to be clear, this is real, this is genuine, this is a big deal. Now, the reason why I was going to talk about the number 5, specifically as we were mentioning before, is 2 plus 3 equals 5. And I'm being pointed out with the number 23, 5, and that 5 getting continued over here with the stars in the pentacles over here and here. Now, I've been going to the Akashic Records and stuff like that, as I've been telling you guys, for something I'm working on. And the number 5 is all about the idea of change, but like an evolutionary sort of change. Because if we think of 4 as sort of like being within a box, your comfortability, what you know, think of 5 as like you first peeking out of the box, thinking outside of the box in curiosity. It's like the beginning stages of you going, I think we should do something different. What's outside here? Trying something new. And we can see through the 7 of Pentacles with that in mind that they've been working towards this change for some time now. In addition to them working on this change, it's like kind of finally coming into fruition. But the main thing that they're waiting on is to kind of see like, do you feel the same way about them? The 7 of Pentacles is someone like putting their heart on their sleeve and being like, hey, I'm into you, or here's the things that I'm exhibiting. Are you seeing the signs? Do you want to return these feelings before they really let loose and kind of like give you their all and be, you know, not hide this from you anymore and be so in depth about it. But in addition, they're still weirdly super concerned with how you're going to respond. So in the 6 of Pentacles, we can see that they tend to be the type of person to express their sort of openness and caringness to others. So in your head, you might be like, well, I'm into them too as both a friend. Again, we're trying to keep this general reading here. So first, you might be like, oh, I'm their friend too. Or, oh, I can see they care about me romantically, but I can see they're very comfortable with other people as well. This is a sort of showman type of act. They're trying to be like, oh, yeah. Don't think too deeply about how I said I cared about you. I also care about these other people too. They do, but that is sort of trying to pull away the intensity of how deep it is. So understand that if you see them sort of trying to pull away or vary it around, it's because they're trying to putting on this act. It's sort of like I'm sorry if this sounds too tongue twistery. It's almost like on one hand, they're like, hey, you feel this way about me too. They're trying to show you signs. They're trying to see if you'll respond back, how you'll respond. But then when it feels like the intensity's too much there and you haven't quite responded, they're quickly to being like, oh, that wasn't as serious as you thought it was. See me also giving attention to someone else? Don't think too deeply about it. I didn't mean that. But they're very fixated on it, and they really want to be open with you, and they want to give it to you, but they want to feel safe being able to see if you will return those same feelings back. Again, this goes the same for friendship too. So if it's a friend and you're thinking about a friend for this thing, it doesn't mean they romantically feel this way, but the connection's very intense. These are the type of friends you like grow old with type of thing. Now going on, as that carries on over here, King of Pentacles. So this is where the question or the secrets kind of become like 2 to 3. On one hand, I am seeing that they financially do better than they let on. And for some people, this is a sort of maybe they work a normal job, but they haven't really been open with you where their family comes from. And they actually have more family in their more money in their family than they kind of put out there, or it's sort of a career-based thing where it's like they're kind of playing it cool, but they have much bigger savings than you're aware of. They do a lot better than you're aware of, and they're just kind of keeping it on the DL, so to speak. Again, that could be for a variety of reasons. The biggest one I'm picking up that they're sort of keeping it and holding back for is they're concerned how you will view them, especially how much they care about how you view them, when we have the 10 of Swords in reverse, and this is where the sort of third secret comes in. It seems that they have had to do some, I don't want to say questionable, because it doesn't feel that intense, but they've had to do things along the way in order to get to where they are financially or their place or whatever. Nothing too severe where they're really like, betraying anybody, but sometimes we compromise, our morals and stuff like that along the way. Maybe they should have stood up for someone when they did it or didn't, or maybe they knew someone else was trying to get a promotion and they went in at the last minute and competed against their friend when they shouldn't have done it. Something where it just feels like not the greatest way they would like to express themselves to you, and they feel regretful of it. I do want to give you some sort of comfort to say, like, it doesn't feel too intense, and it's not something that defines them now. They don't approach business in this way. They don't approach being with other people in business this way. They just did what they needed to do at previous time in their career in order to get to the place they are now. And there's a bit of a concern of, like, will you judge them for that? Because they definitely judge themselves for that. But I always want you to pay attention to context and sort of like the subtext of what people are saying or worried about. The fact that they are concerned with these actions and they don't necessarily agree with what they've done shows that at heart they are a good person, and that they realize, if they could do things, they wish they could do it differently. And, that's not how they're doing things now. So just keep in mind, this isn't like the worst person ever, worst situation, but you can understand why they want to keep that private, because if you see how well they did, you might be like, oh, how'd you get there? They don't want to really talk about these things. That's what's basically going on. So overall, not the biggest, actually, it's kind of wonderful. They're doing very financially well. They're deeply in love and care about you, and they just don't want you to know that they're trying to act cool, but secretly underneath it all, they're super vulnerable and caring about how they treat other people and how you will receive them. So overall, just a lot of both power and empowerment, while simultaneously a lot of vulnerability. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed this reading. It's definitely not what I anticipated. Kind of a goofy secret if you ask me, but a good one to hear nonetheless. If you enjoyed this reading, please consider giving it a like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and it helps out the channel like you would not believe. You can even, if you feel so bold, vulnerably share one of your secrets anonymously in the comments below, but obviously you don't have to do that. I want you to feel comfortable. And I will see you in the next one. Let's get ready for group number 2. Group number 2, let's look at those secrets by looking at the cards. Your oracle card is the Ghost Dance upright, 10 of Pentacles in reverse, 8 of Pentacles upright, 5 of Cups upright, and 7 of Swords upright. Ooh. Give me a second. I'm just listening to my spirit guide. Ooh, okay. This is juicy. Okay, let's start off with what I would definitely describe as the thesis of this spread, or the motif over here with the oracle card, the Ghost Dance. The Ghost Dance is usually like an ancestral thing or a past life oriented thing. Essentially, it's all about this dance that when it's performed, it honors the past lives, past ancestors, and it brings those beings kind of in alignment with you now. But with what my spirit guide is telling me is this is more related to this other person's actual past, like something in their past is still haunting them. It's an action, it's a thing that they've done and they regret now currently, and they feel like they need to overcome it, let go of it, forgive themselves for it. It's that sort of vibe and feeling. But I am also simultaneously being told that the reason why they have this grief and the reason why they even performed these actions in the first place is due to a past life situation. I'm going to give you a quick fun fact rundown. I can do a whole video about this if you're interested. Past lives are super in depth, way more than people realize. When you experience a past life, when you have a past life, which we all do, we have tons of them, if something isn't properly, kind of healed, or you forgive yourself about it in the process of, passing over to the veil, you essentially carry these concepts out in current who you are now. So this is a reason why people can be like, I don't know why I have this irrational fear, or I don't know why I'm just somebody who deals with anxiety, or I don't know why when I feel a certain way, maybe you tense up in a particular part of your body or whatever. I'm just giving you it can be anything. It can be an array of things. And this is why when people are like, man, I don't know what I can't seem to solve this issue. It's because you actually just need to heal it, and then boop, it's done, and then you'll feel a lot better pretty quickly, which is also amazing. And this can prevent this sort of repeated cycle, because it's repeating because it's trying to heal itself, but you don't necessarily need to repeat it in order to heal itself. So let's get into that. I'm being told to focus on over here. So the Eight of Pentacles is showing me this is all work related for them. This would be like a career based, as they were the main thing. It could potentially like the career they're trying to make happen, the career they're currently in. It's something long term. It's their main drive and focus and hobby that they either are currently living now or they're trying to make something, but they've been doing it for a while. This would be a focus for some time now as you know them. And whatever they did, which I can see what they did, we're going to talk about it in 1 second, but it caused them a lot of grief. This over here in the Five of Cups in reverse shows the grief they need to let go of. They feel extremely guilty for it. They can't seem to let go. They're definitely haunted by their actions of the past from what they did in this lifetime. And the reason why they're being haunted by all of this, and the reason why they even chose to do this action in the first place, is due to the past life trying to work itself out. Now, over here in the Seven of Swords upright, the main secret, the thing that they're hiding and they are very regretful for, is they feel that they stole some ideas and concepts from other people, and it enabled them to have some form of success now, or it's like moving them in some sort of momentum towards where they want to go, and they just kind of feel like a terrible person for that. But what they don't know is that they actually did not steal these concepts. You should probably, teach your own choice, but I feel like they should know this because this might relieve a lot of guilt for them. They did not, in fact, steal these ideas. I'm being told by my spirit guide that they had similar ideas, and then they saw someone execute basically the same ideas, and then that then motivated them to be like, oh, maybe then I should do this idea. Maybe it's okay for me to do this idea. And then when they would go and express this idea, they essentially kind of warped it in their brain to be like, I stole it from this other person. And then this unfortunately caused them a lot of grief and feel like what they have to offer now in their career is basically fake, and they're just basically beating themselves up, and it's awful, and we feel for them in that way. But they in fact did not take anything. They did not take it was their idea to begin with as well. It's just, many people usually have very similar ideas. It's kind of hard to be original in this day and age. But this is due to what's going on over here in the Seven of Swords. So in the Seven of Swords, they were a thief in a previous lifetime. And they were really good in this previous lifetime at identifying when something was, like of value and worth taking. Especially the time period I'm being shown, there wouldn't have been a way to like go on Google and find out like the value of things. So they just had a really good intuition and hunch of knowing when something was worth taking and seeing if someone else would buy it. It would be most likely that they could resell it to someone else. And this is this is actually not necessarily a negative thing that they've carried over to this lifetime. Because essentially, instead of taking anything, they're just very good at knowing, my idea, this is an idea I have, 100 a day, but I'm pretty good at identifying when I feel like my idea and looking and reflecting and seeing it reflected in other people executing it, when it's a good hunch to follow that, and that's going to be worth something. So they're very good at finding value, and they should definitely spin that in a positive direction and give themselves applause. And they should also relieve their guilt because they technically didn't even take anything. Everything's good to go, essentially. But this is unfortunately and this is another sort of secret for them. Not only are they kind of hiding this, they don't want to express it, they don't want you to feel the bad feelings they feel already upon themselves, but in the Ten of Pentacles in reverse, it kind of almost feels like it's soiled all their hard work. They just feel like, did I even earn it? Yes, they really did. I can see they worked hard. I can see they're just very good at spotting when something's a good idea. They had a lot of their own original ideas. Everything's okay, but they can't seem to stop viewing it in this way and holding on to it due to this influence. So not only do we understand that they in fact are not, I mean, they're just viewing themselves as a bad person, but that's sort of relative in this day and age. So technically, in the way they're viewing themselves is actually incorrect. And this is all because of what needs to be healed. By the way, healing past lives is crazy easy. You can do it like in 5 or 10 minutes, and then they can be pretty much relaxed and let this go. So they should definitely consider doing that. It will feel a lot better. Anyway, so yeah, I hope this helped clarify if there was any sort of like reluctance, or if they ever seem to like pull away when it comes to maybe being given some sort of admiration, or maybe you want to talk about their career and they seem to pull away, or they get sheepish at times. This would explain this sort of subconscious, guilt they're holding on to, and actually that it's technically not warranted, so to speak. I'm trying to say this in a way because you don't want to, I never want people to feel like their emotions aren't valid. You know what I'm saying? Like, their emotions are valid, but technically they are accidentally seeing it in the wrong way and unaware of what their inner compass is trying to really tell them, which is heal this past lifetime. And also, you're really good at what you do. You should definitely applaud yourself for that. Yeah, please let me know in the comments below. Have you sensed this in them before? Are you going to potentially get their past life healed with them? Maybe it could be a fun bonding process. Whatever floats your boat, please let me know. You can do this through meditation, through journeying. You can see a shaman for this. There's like a ton of different ways of going about it. I can make a video about it if you're interested. I'd be happy to. Anyways, if you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell. I am wishing you the best, and I look forward to see you in the next one. And let's get ready for group number 3. Group number 3. Let's look at those secrets by looking at the cards. We've got Oracle card, the Gatherer, King of Wands in reverse, Page of Pentacles in reverse, Justice card in reverse, and the Lover's card upright. Give me a second to look at this. Oh, this is so cute. Oh, I love this. This is super like universally like destiny bound. It's super cute. It's very much like you were meant to be in their life. So this is a secret with a happy ending, with a promise too, which I love. This is so cute. So let me get into this. First off, with the Lover's card being predominant here, this is more towards the romantic side for people who are in romantic relationships or building this romantic relationship. Maybe someone you haven't quite gotten there yet, but you feel for romantic feelings for. However, I am still going to keep it pretty general because this is a general reading, so do not worry. This is just definitely someone where you have a pretty intense connection with them, where you're with them with a regular basis. They really admire what you have to offer and vice versa kind of thing. So with that investment being said, let's focus on first the interaction going on here with the King of Wands upright and the Gatherer. This is like the main concept being expressed here. They are pretty much embarrassed about being vulnerable and seeming like they don't know what they're doing, and they really don't, and they need your help. So we'll focus more on the Gatherer first because this is how they are being represented over here in the King of Wands. The Gatherer is somebody who is able to kind of like see the benefit in things when to other people it seems like there's nothing there. So this is someone who can see all the food and the resources and the ingredients and the spices when someone else just sees like a patch of grass and dirt. This is also somebody who is really good at not overdoing it and hoarding it and being greedy. So think of the vibes of this being the concept around like positivity, finding the, optimistic viewpoint when it seems like there is no hope. Someone who is able to be present enough in the moment and believe that there will be more in the future, so they don't need to like kind of have a control on things. So they're very open, it's this optimism and openness and trusting in the future. It's just this general mindset that they're struggling with. Because over here in the King of Wands, they feel like they've accomplished a lot and can be admired admired for a lot of other reasons. And they're sitting there acting like, oh, yeah, I know what's going on, but why don't you go gather? You know the right berries. I trust your opinion. And they're just having trouble basically admitting that maybe it's not very comfortable or familiar to them to connect to positivity naturally. It's just not their background. They're afraid of being vulnerable, being judged to even be open, and being judged that they're not really comfortable being open. Or here's the big one, they don't know how. That especially gets reflected over here with you being represented by the Page of Pentacles, because this little cutie is you. So this is you with the Page of Pentacles, page representing student, like you teaching them, and the Pentacles representing the idea of belief system. If you aren't super familiar with tarot or you're building up a knowledge with it, Pentacles not only are dealing with money, but it can deal with like earthly things, tangible things, or belief systems. And so this is you sort of showing them, trying to reach out. It's like the beginning stages of being like, hey, I can see you struggling. I can see it's hard for you. You maybe when you're looking at something, they just don't get it. It's like when you're looking at art, and maybe some people are like, oh yeah, I see this, this, and this, and the other person's embarrassed because they're just like, I don't see it. I don't see more here. And they'd like to, which is great. It's a hilarious. I don't mean to laugh at the secret because, this is important to them, but it's actually kind of cute that they want to do that. They just don't know how. And this is you sort of reaching out to them and being like, this is how. Let me show you how. These are some things you should consider, or you could look at it this way. Now over here, this is super important, and this is where the destiny bound stuff comes in when we have the Justice card in reverse. The Justice card is all about the idea of when you, first of all, it heavily deals with karma. So I'll be honest with you, I'm feeling a bit of a soulmate connection, like you were meant to come into each other's life for this reason. But when it is a Justice card situation, upright or in reverse, it involves the idea of equal exchange of energy, emotions, time. What you give in is what you give back. And that's the thing that they're really having a hard time with. They feel like if they give up what they've worked hard for, they view it as giving it up. I've worked hard to get here. If I get off from my chair and, try this out, get out on the field with everyone else, I'll somehow not be respected and seen as the person that I hope to present myself as. When in reality, they're not realizing, well, when you only give stagnation, not changing, being unmovable, well, that's all you get in return. You are sort of their new force in their life. The student isn't afraid to not know. The student is welcoming of all, continue the idea, like, the journey of knowledge is like a forever thing. Like you're always going to be learning new stuff and new emotions and so on and so forth. And it's like very happy, free vulnerability of being like, yeah, I don't know, and I'll know someday, and I can teach you, and then I'll know even more, and then I'll keep knowing more. And so with the Justice card being in reverse, they need to fix this. They are not in alignment with that idea of balance. They're not in alignment with being vulnerable in this way and changing up their course of action and being, being more active in the field, as we put out here, and so on and so forth. So with the Lovers card being paired with the Justice card, this talks about the karma and the soulmate potential situation here. I would need to see one or two other cards to full on be like, this is a soulmate connection, but I'm heavily feeling it is, which is beautiful. And the Lovers card upright is talking about, for people who are, this is sort of a connection like a family member or friend, this is sort of the promise and the confirmation that like you will be the one to help them. But in general, it's just a very loving sort of imagery of the two of you getting together, you sort of guiding their way, this partnership pulling them out of this sort of stagnant place in their life, teaching them this other side of themselves. But that's the main thing you need to know. I think it's really important you know this too, because a lot of things can get misinterpreted. There's a lot of potential to how do I put this, to like feel like the other person is closing off from you, like they're hiding this big, like they're not telling you that they love you, they're seeing someone else, like these big intense feelings behind it. But in reality, they're just like afraid of being like, they're like, I'm not as creative maybe as I wish I could be. I wish I was more hopeful, and I'm just not. So they're kind of sticking to what's safe to them, and what is safe to them is what they know. So get ready. You're going to be the one opening them up. It's going to be really positive for them. Don't be worried if they seem kind of like standoffish. They're just really in order to pull them out of this, make sure you remind them that the more they focus on their insecurities and what they feel they can't do, then that's what they'll get back in return, when they should focus more on what you have to offer, the new knowledge, and then that's what they will receive. They will receive basically what they're wanting. It's a concept of like, are you focused more on your fears? Well, then you're going to keep getting more fearful kind of environment around you. If you're focusing more on the potential of what you're happy about or your safety, then that's what you get in return. So please let me know in the comments below, how do you feel like you will help them be a more optimistic person? How will you guide them? What's your particular method or lesson? It can definitely help everyone else. We could always use some more positivity. Everyone loves that. Please let me know in the comments below, and if you enjoyed this video, consider giving it a like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell. I look forward to seeing you in the next one, and let's get ready for the final group number 4. Group number 4. Let's look at those secrets by looking at the cards. We have the Oracle card Flow upright, Knight of Pentacles upright, 8 of Cups in reverse, Ace of Wands upright, and the Star card in reverse. Let me look at this. This is super telling. And just listen to my spirit guide. Just give me one more moment. Okay. Oh, I'm actually, I really feel for the secret that they're sort of holding back. It's like a very defining quality of them. And I really feel for them because they might feel very lost right now and feel like it's a big deal to them at this moment, but they're going to look back at this and be like, oh man, everything worked out the way it was meant to work out. And I'm also really happy to say that there is good news for them. So they have this worry, this thing they're hiding from you. They don't want you to look at them a different way, but we can talk about their motivation for it and talk about where it's going. So I'm really excited for that. So let's first talk about the most important card my spirit guide says, the Knight of Pentacles upright. It appears that they basically feel like they are lost in life. They feel that they are coming up short, don't really have anything to offer. This is someone who feels like they haven't quite made it yet. They haven't done something of significance that they could be proud of and tell other people. And they just kind of feel like they're hitting a point in life. And keep in mind, it's so interesting when people feel this. Sometimes people feel it very young when they're like 21 and they'll think, oh my gosh, I haven't made it yet, or I haven't found the career that I want to do. And there's just so much weight they put on their shoulders. But this is the same thing. And honestly, deep conditioning by society when people are like 40 and feel this way. You can be any age and be like, man, I really don't, I'm not hitting that mark quite yet. And I do want to be clear about this because I don't think it's put out there enough. It's never too late in life to find what you're truly passionate about doing. It's okay that it hasn't happened yet. And in this case, I'm being told that it's one of those sort of destiny things where you're going to look back and realize, oh, it was meant to be this way. But anyways, they feel like they've been coming up short in life and therefore don't really have a career they can particularly brag about, or feel like they've gotten a certain sort of place in their career they can talk about and let people know. Because a lot of people define their worth about what they've accomplished in a career-based orientation. That doesn't mean that is actually true and that's a good thing to do, but unfortunately it's just the way that they feel. And they don't want you to know this because you might think that they are, I don't want to use strong words like this, but people might define themselves as not good enough. I'm trying to pick the nicest terminology because from what I'm picking up from them, they're not the nicest words. So let's not use the terminology they would define themselves at. This gets further explained and understood when we have an 8 of Cups in reverse situation. This shows that there has, especially with the Knight being here too, there has been an effort. And that's the frustration. They've been trying actively to go towards, something, try something out, make something work. But unfortunately, all of that effort hasn't added up to anything. If you are new to reading tarot cards and you want a further explanation of this, the 8 of Cups in reverse often pops up when somebody is like repeatedly making an effort towards, often this deals with spirituality, but this could be like trying out different jobs, trying out different careers. There's an effort in self-improvement. There's an effort in trying to go a direction, but it just doesn't seem like you end up moving any further forward or towards your destination. So you're just like, man, I put in a lot of work and I just feel like I'm in the same place I started, which is super frustrating. So there's an effort being made, but a lack of connection. Most of this is due to a combination of destiny, their lack of connection to, like their self-awareness of their lack of connection to the flow of the way the universe works, and they haven't quite found what they're actually into. They don't know it yet. They might say, oh, I'm really into music, or I really have a dream of doing this. In reality, that lack of things clicking, and sometimes even if they make it happen, it feels really like they have to really force themselves to doing it, is their inner compass telling them, hey, these things that you think you're pursuing now that you think you're really into, you aren't actually. You have another thing that you haven't experimented with over here in the Ace of Wands that you're meant to do. And you're going to look back and be like, oh, I'm so happy. I needed to go through that struggle to be the person I am now, to be the person that other people connect with. I'll be the kind of sort of poster child for the person who knows what it feels like to get lost. And often in life, you'd be surprised how many times we try out a bunch of different things and then those skills end up adding up later somewhere else. So it's a good thing we experimented with them in the first place. So Ace of Wands shows us they haven't discovered what this like hobby skill is yet, but that's a little bit embarrassing for them to acknowledge. I know that's a weird thing to keep a secret, but it is. Over here with the Flow card, this is really important for what's going on here and where it ends up here. So with the Flow card and the Knight of Pentacles moving away from the Flow card, that's a huge significant feel. The Flow is, I often actually use this term, it's when you feel like you're in the flow of the universe. It feels like as you make choices, they feel right. You kind of don't even have to think about it too deeply. Lots of synchronicities pop up. You often will immediately see some sort of reward, whether this be in views or money or recognition, because you just feel like you're totally in the right place at the right time, and it feels really good. And this is when we feel our calmest, we feel our most confident. This is a huge reason why people, when they feel off and they can't quite explain what's been wrong for so long, it's because in a very deep way you were feeling out of flow with the universe. That doesn't necessarily mean you are. Weirdly, I don't want to get too deep about this right now. I can make a whole video about it if you're interested. I'm not trying to take up too much of your time, but sometimes even if it feels like you're out of the flow in the universe, it's like that's how you were meant to feel when you were meant to feel it, if that translates, and that gets expounded upon here. So here, it's like the flow, them feeling like they're making the right choice at the right time. They feel like they're disconnected from it and moving away from it and moving towards sort of that lost persona. So they try things out, it doesn't work, they feel embarrassed for all their effort. They're embarrassed to admit they don't quite know what they're doing, and there's a lot of effort, and it seems like, well, if you work so hard and nothing adds up, then what are you even doing? They're self-aware of that. They don't want you to know. They don't want you to view them in a negative way. But here's the thing. When we have the Star card in reverse, this implies that you might not feel like you're on the right path in life, but the fact that you're getting the Star card at all still means that you are. I am being shown by my spirit guide that they are going to gain a new sort of ability or hobby, whatever this is they're going to put their interest in. And this is where they're going to really shine and realize this is what they were actually wanting to do. They're going to find it all syncs up and everything will flow a lot easier in the form of success and receiving the things of like the recognition, whatever this sort of imaginary trophy, if you will, from the universe and from others that will make them finally feel like it all added up and was meant to be. But they were meant to feel sort of lost at this time in their life, because when they ultimately get to this other skill and hobby, a lot of people are going to be drawn to them and relate to them because they'll be like, man, I'm lost too, and you made it? Wow, I can relate to that. I really want to be around this other person and support this other person. So in the end, they're going to be really thankful for what they've gained knowledge-wise now, and even the bad feelings they're feeling now. But at this very moment, while it has a happy ending, and I'm so excited for them to experience this, especially when they don't feel good now, don't be surprised if they kind of like hype themselves up to you and you can tell there's something kind of off. It's because they don't quite believe it themselves, but they're so worried that you won't want to be around them or be with them because you'll you'll think they're not good enough or worth it or worth the romantic or friendship investment, because it's like, well, they're afraid you will see in them what they already see in themselves privately. That's the best way to put it, which is just not true about anyone. But I see the confirmation that they have a very bright future ahead of them and that everything's kind of working out beautifully the way it's meant to. So, please let me know in the comments below, like, how do you personally, I'd actually love to make a video about this. Please let me know in the comments below if you want me to make a video about this, but I'd love to talk about the idea of being in the flow of it, because there is actually a way you can feel it and define it, get back in it, get out of it, understand it, because it just really is the worst thing ever when you feel off in that kind of way and you're not quite sure how you got off or how to get back on. And please share in the comments below, how do you know when you feel like you're off? How do you know when you feel like you're back in it? Do you have a technique or something you use? Please share in the comments below to help others to feel that way too. Or maybe just put it out there being like, hey, can anyone help me? Can anyone help me get in the flow? Maybe I should do a pick a card for that. Would you guys like that? I could do a pick a card about getting in the flow. I'd be happy to. This is a subject that's very close and near and dear to my heart. I love this subject. Either way, I am wishing you the best. I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Please give this video a like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell. It helps out the channel like you would not believe. Have a lovely day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!